And we're live. Look at that, everyone. Hello, hello. Oh no, our guest, their thing is, they're a big secret. I have to hold
Oh,
on.
you gotta hide it. You have to
I have to
you
hide
have to
it.
make the people not know, even
Oh,
though it is in the description
woo! That was a close
of
one.
the show.
Thanks for
Whew,
everyone's patience.
nailed it. Hello,
Sure,
hello.
hope we have a guest.
So welcome everyone to look. We've been doing this for a while now. We've been doing it for a minute.
Yep.
However, a rebrand was needed. A refocusing of energies was required. So we were Playotic Pod, but we are now the 30-day trial podcast.
Wee.
Sumner, what does that mean? Why? What is going on? Tell
So
me.
30-day trials. It's a fancy way of saying a hyperfixation. Something that I think a lot of people our age and our generation can really kind of vibe with, which is those things that you get obsessed with for about 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, it could be any period of time, really. So like if you're super into like rug tufting like I am right now, you're watching a ton of videos on it. I'm gonna buy a gun. I want to make a frame, and I'm gonna start doing this, and then about 60 days, I'm gonna move on to something else.
But you will always have the rug tufting stuff. So whenever you want to get into it,
Yep.
it's right there waiting for you.
Exactly. Yeah. So the 30-day trials is, we're constantly moving on from hobby to hobby to hobby and learning what our guests are into and just finding out more about everything. I don't know. It's pretty open-ended, to be honest.
Yeah.
But 30-day trials is hyperfixations.
I think it's also a thing that is it's not negative. I think this is a really positive spin on what some people consider like a negative mental health thing, and I like to think that we're looking at it from like a positive standpoint. And it's like, hey, it's cool to get into new stuff and learn about new things and spread your wings and experiment with things and try things and learn about things. So like,
Yeah.
it's all positive mental health. All right, you look concerned.
Yeah, no, I'm just fixing your green screen stuff.
Oh, okay. For our audio listeners, he looked concerned.
Thank you. And thank you if you're listeners. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. And it also kind of refocusing the energies of the show. For those that have been listening, should come as no shock because we described ourselves as a D&D lifestyle podcast, but I feel like we have been largely away from that for quite some time.
Yeah, D&D has just kind of turned into an afterthought of like, I feel like we kind of ran out of stuff to talk about pretty quick. We're like, how do you like to build worlds? Well, we can't talk about that again. But like, so it just kind of, I don't know. There's more to life than just D&D,
There is, but we can still talk D&D because it is something we still love. It's something that we do, and that's okay. But we've had so many cool people, had some great conversations about a lot of different things. So we just felt like, you know what? Let's refocus the energy. So here we are, 30-day trial cast. Let's fucking go. Woo!
Let's fucking go. So hey, I don't want to keep our guest waiting for much longer.
That's a good point.
So let's bring her on. She is a friend of the show. I think she just recently met Mick. Let me bring her on.
16 years.
All right. Hello, Heck8. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Hey.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, thank you for calling in, my dear. just to get it out of the way, for those unaware, Heck8 is my wife. My
wife.
Nailed it.
We did not plan that. Sorry,
no, we
everybody.
did not plan that. But yeah, she is my wife, and she's great. She is a cosplayer. She's a VTuber. She's a D&D player. She's amazing.
A fellow hyperfixator.
A fellow.
Hey, like to hear it.
We need to get the meme of that where it's like average enjoyer or whatever, and it's like we should have average hyperfixation.
That'd be fun. Maybe we can have like a scale, like
Sigma hyperfixator.
We should have a way of tracking our previous hyperfixations too. Like bring out the chart and just like have. I would love something like that.
Where are we today on the chart?
Let's see. Yesterday we started Hungarian throat singing.
Like the underwater basket weaving. It's no longer a joke. It's real and hard.
It's very difficult. Why am I focused on this right now, of all the things?
So Heck8, so tell us what you do. What are you about? What are your hyperfixations? What do you like? What are you interested in? What do you do? Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
You can't ask people what they do.
Oh God, who am I?
Who
So let's
am
see.
I? Let's get existential like immediately.
On the internet, I do dabble in VTubing. More so recently than previously, because I finally have a model that I like. I also like to cosplay when the opportunity arises. I'm not quite one of those people who just has like cosplay projects on the back burner constantly. Like I don't put months into costumes yet.
Yet.
Probably gonna end up on that path. But I do like to cosplay when the opportunity arises. As we all know, it is almost October, which is a
Hell
great month
yeah.
for cosplayers, or a stressful month for cosplayers, depending.
No kidding.
I already have 3 costumes ready
Yes.
for this
3?
October.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So those are all not for the same day, I presume.
Right. One is for our housewarming party. Hallowwarming.
Halloween. Hearthswarming.
Halloween.
Halloween.
House of Ween.
One is for one is for a friend's birthday party because her birthday is on Halloween. And another one is for a side project for Mick's recurring Halloween themed Twitch character, Mickey Bones.
My horror host character. She's,
Wow.
Yeah.
So what part of the I guess why aren't you using one costume for all of those? Why 3 different ones, and what are they?
Because I can.
No, I respect that. I would do the same exact thing. I kind of asked a question I knew the answer to. I want to hear it, Or if you had a specific reason.
For our party, we wanted to do a couple's costume. We typically do couple's costumes because why not?
Yeah.
Cute.
But then for the birthday party,
What's the couple's costume?
Oh,
do you want to tell everybody?
We're gonna be Gomez and Morticia Adams.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love
it's
that.
literally an excuse that I can wear like pajamas because I have
he's got like a smoking jacket.
Yeah. So that's partially why. And also that's one that we've talked about for years to do. Like we've done in the past, we've done like Beetlejuice and Lydia. Is one
cute.
we've done. What else have we done? I feel like
we did one of the first ones we did was we were just zombies.
Oh yeah, we were dead sexy.
No, you were dead sexy and I was drop dead gorgeous.
That's right. Excuse me. Pardon.
And then Beetlejuice and Lydia, and then we were both Rockabilly Frankensteins.
Yep. That was a good one. I feel like there's one more. Oh, we were Abaddon. We were Abaddon and Dean from Supernatural.
Right, I was Abaddon. He was Dean Winchester.
Yeah. So we've
if people remember who Abaddon was.
Yeah, we've done a few different ones, but Gomez and Morticia has been on the list for quite some time. So it was just like, well, why not? It's a housewarming party in addition to a Halloween party, so it made sense to be them because because I can have like a big fake cigar and be like, "Sumner, old man," I mean,
and just be overly enthusiastic about everything and everyone.
And I can dance the mamushka.
And I can be silent and statuesque. So
it's true. It's true.
You should always have like a flashlight on her face, where it's just
if I could rig that up somehow, just have a place in the living room that I could stand where it's always just like
it's always on your eyes. The sunlight follows you.
I tried to convince another friend of ours to go as Fester to the party, so that
was he insulted?
No, he wasn't. He was just, he's like, I don't know, I'm thinking of maybe something else. And I'm like, but we could dance the mamushka. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, he was excited for a second, and then he didn't want to do it. But
yeah, I'm like, fine.
Back when we used to cosplay in groups a lot, we would constantly like watch like new stuff and go, oh, I could be this character, you could be that character, and it would always end up leaving like one character to be like, oh, our friend could be this. Like we always have to second guess, would they appreciate us telling them that they should cosplay them? Like,
look,
oh, you should cosplay the sumo wrestler. Like, you're calling me really fat. That's not
no.
Like, I could be Goku and you could be Piccolo and they can be Krillin.
You seem useless.
I know enough about Dragon Ball to know that. It's like the Krillin dies and he's useless and he sucks.
But he still gets the girl.
That's true.
And
That's true.
Krillin is the strongest human on the planet.
He is? I thought it was Yamcha.
You have not watched Dragon Ball.
I have not watched the.
Yeah.
So I watched the most I watched was the original Dragon Ball, and I knew that Yamcha is afraid of women, and he was like big and jacked and everything. So I just assumed that he is.
Yeah, like he's muscular, but yeah, he's like the butt of the joke of who gets his ass kicked the most and dies the most. Krillin might die the most because he probably gets brought back the most. But yeah, Yamcha's
Good to know. Anyway, what other costumes are you doing?
So for the 90s themed birthday party one, I'm doing Nancy Downs from The Craft, which is going to be exciting.
I've never heard of that. What is that
um,
on? The Craft? What is that?
The Craft? It's a movie from the
movie, The
90s.
Craft.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
I
a
don't-
movie about witchcraft in the 90s.
Okay.
Perusa Balk, Nev Campbell.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know who Ned Campbell is.
Did I say Ned?
Yeah, you
No,
did.
no, he said Nev.
He could have had me
Never.
going. And he...
Quick, someone tell me who
Cool,
Ned
cool.
Campbell sounds like. Anyways, but that's
You know, I say it like Kevin Smith, Nevy.
Nevy.
Nevi Campbell.
Yeah.
The Craft.
Well, that's the one I'm like most excited about, because as a child who grew up in the 90s and as someone who does still dabble in witchcraft and paganism, I idolized that movie and Practical Magic and Hocus Pocus. Why not?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. I love that though. My wife does the
I
same
remember-
thing.
The Craft is more horror focused
Mm.
and completely and utterly will make you not ever want to try to like hex people or do love spells.
Oh, interesting. Okay. The one thing I know
Yeah.
about the whole one of the first things I ever
It's
learned
dark.
about a real curse is you can't you would have to be willing to have the same exact effect of the curse inflicted on you. That's like one of that's like cursing 101 where it's like if you want someone to die, you better be willing to die yourself kind of thing. Like just to put things
Yeah.
to an extreme. Which I think puts things into perspective. Like how badly do you want to curse someone?
Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
And how
is it worth
badly?
it?
Yeah. Do you hate
Sometimes
them
it
more
might
than you
be.
hate yourself? Like
Yeah, that's some deep hate.
yeah.
No, my costume for that party remains undecided yet. It is 90s themed, so I've explored the possibility of being Ghostface,
Mhm.
because from
'Cause
Scream, 'cause,
Scream,
you know.
the quintessential 90s horror film.
Yes, or like the good old got it in my back pocket Beetlejuice. I pull that,
Mhm.
even though that's technically not 90s, but
I did my research. If anybody gives you guff, yes, it came out in 1988, but it did not come out in home video until 1990.
there it is.
There it is.
And he was at Universal Studios through a large portion of the 90s. So I could be like, I'm
True.
the Universal Studios Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Very specific.
And as we all know, more people watched movies for the first time on home video back then
This
because
is
not
true.
everybody went to the theater.
That's true. I mean, I honestly I thought Beetlejuice was 90s up until you literally mentioned it. Like
Right? Because back in the day, we had to either rent it, buy it, or wait for it to come on TV. And that would be years after the theatrical release.
It's true. But I don't know
back
if I
in
will
my
do that.
day. Sorry.
I'll be wearing enough makeup doing Mickey Bones, so I might not be interested in being covered in makeup to be Beetlejuice. So
Mm.
you know. But so we got that. You're right there.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I had a long day at work, so I'm like
Okay.
I'm like fighting yawns, but I'm fully awake. It's weird.
And then what is the third costume?
Oh, Elvira.
Elvira, of course. So you're gonna
Mistress of
be
the
you're gonna be two like goth queens, of oh my gosh, the Addams Family and Elvira. That's great.
And yes, one looks more conservative, but I assure you, they both fuck.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Morticia
they
fucks.
can
Morticia.
viciously.
Does not stop. No, she's not. It's because she
As
is
we
a goth
all
queen, so
pause to ponder.
to think about it.
Because a lot of Elvira's
Marinate
shtick,
on that.
a lot of Elvira's shtick is that she has her boobs out, like she's very
Yeah,
let's
that's her whole
make
thing. Yeah,
let's make dirty jokes. Let's make like
Yeah.
she hits her head in the car, like she's getting something out of car trunk, and she gets up and she hits her head, and the guy with her is like, "Oh, how's your head?" And she's like, "I haven't had any complaints."
yeah.
Ba-da-da.
Ba-dum.
Yeah.
So
Not bad.
that kind of more camp horror
Gotcha.
because she's actually a camp version of Vampira.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I did know that actually, but I know nothing about Vampira, so that's where my knowledge ends.
She
Well,
hated Elvira.
yes, hated Elvira because she ripped her gimmick off, basically.
I mean, wouldn't you be though? Like, you know.
I mean, well, aren't we all just ripping off Betty Page at the end of the day?
Pretty much.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I know I am. I know Sumner is. I've seen his closet. A lot of fishnets, a lot of leather.
I actually
I was
recently bought a
surprised.
fishnet shirt. I want to try more fishnet out.
Nice.
I want to be
think it would
more
work.
sexually provocative. I want to go to the gas station and be like,
Okay.
I would like
You want more looks.
this. What?
Hard looks. You want more hard looks.
I want more hard looks. Yeah. In Texas, that's dangerous. But I
I was
think.
about to say, you might be careful out there, my friend.
But the thing is, I don't know if it's the fishnets or the gun strapped to his waist, but he's confusing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a gun, but I mean I do, but I don't bring it with me. Anyway, why am I? You ever just talk too much? So
Welcome to the 30-day
Fishnets are
trial
great.
podcast.
fishnets
Hey,
are
this
great.
is
really feel
Positive mental health, my man. You can let it
Yeah.
all out. All out right here.
Yeah.
God, I had like 8 questions and they all just disappeared. I'm watching them leave my brain right now.
Oh, that happens to me so much at work.
Yeah.
Hey, Courtney,
Well,
how was your weekend?
I had a weekend. But one of our
Right.
viewers has actually a question for Heck8. You mentioned you dabble in VTubing. So they ask, why VTube if you are on stream with Playotic as yourself?
Because, well, if I
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
contagious.
VTubing,
Yes.
VTubing allows me to jump on stream, no matter how I look, no matter how I feel I look. And so I can, jump on in my ratty pajamas. I can jump on shirtless if I wanted to and not get, Twitch banned. I could be in a hot tub and they would never know.
It's true.
But
Hot tub
ultimately, it's
stream.
because I do really I like not so much the anonymity, but I like being able to present a specific image. And so and again, like I'm staring, I'm on camera. Not that the people in YouTubeverse can see. I'm staring at myself constantly.
I know what you mean. It's like having a mirror in the room. It's hard not to look.
Right.
It's
And
not
it's
like
not
a
that I don't
narcissism or
look
anything. Yeah.
right. And I look at my VTube model while I'm, VTubing because I want to make sure she's not like
Yeah.
if she needs like calibrating. But I don't know. It's just it's a
It's less
comfort
to
thing.
manage.
And I also don't want to stream without something to interact with the audience with.
Yeah. that
Right.
makes sense.
Because that just feels cold.
Mm-hmm. I do see VTubing. I love YouTubers. I watch a lot of the I watch Gara a lot. But it's
Is that the shark?
yeah, it's the shark girl. And I do see it more as a convenience for the streamer than I do the viewer. But it's because like I remember when we did VTubing a little bit with Faithful Encounters, that was a hyperfixation back in the day where I got super deep into it. I learned all about it, and then I never went back to it. I did not.
They almost always broke, though. In fairness,
it was extremely shaky. But it was because of what we were doing. We were trying to be as affordable as possible, and it definitely showed. But that was a 30-day trial I did not subscribe for. And I just remember it being a lot more relieving when I was in character, but I ended up, because I could eat, I could mute my mic and actually eat when it wasn't my turn. I could, I didn't have to wear a shirt or anything like that. Not that I did, but I'm just saying like it's less stress. Because I remember even streaming on
Right.
Tummy Numner, it being, I don't know how people who stream like 8 hours a day do it because it's just so like, it's almost like being in public for a long time where you're just,
Yeah.
it's just mentally draining somehow, even though you're not doing much more.
Yeah, I guess that's really how I should have led it with. I am introverted. I do my social batteries charge more when I am in control, when I'm by myself,
Yeah.
and things like that. And even now, like I'm chewing my lips. I don't do that when I'm VTubing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
nobody else can see you.
Yeah.
Exactly. But if I did, no one would know.
It's
If
true.
you need to pick your nose, if you gotta, wipe your eyeball.
Well, and in fairness too, with like Playotic, you do character makeup. Like almost
Mhm.
inevitably every time you in some way are doing some sort of representation of your character, even if you don't do your full makeup, you'll wear a wig, you'll wear, horns or ears or contacts or
Yeah.
something like that. So even then, like when you appear as yourself on Playodic, it's super rare for you to appear 100% as you.
Right, because even if I don't have time or the energy to do my full, like, purple makeup, I'll throw on my wig and my horns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, it is a comfort thing because I know exactly what I look like and I know exactly what I'm presenting,
Right.
and I guess it's a way to not I don't know. I don't know, because it's like, if you don't like my wig and my horns, I don't actually have wig and horns, so
It's true.
fuck you. Or I do have a wig. I don't actually have blue hair and horns, so if you don't like them, I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Do you have any
Like,
costumes that
it's
like you have a goal to be? I'm sorry, random question. Sorry to interrupt you.
no, you're good.
Um,
Because I will keep on talking, like,
That's what we're here to
about
do,
my
pal.
no,
personal
yeah,
demons.
yeah, no, I cannot control the ADHD apparently today. Um,
It's okay.
yeah, I was curious because you seem to have a lot of interest in like character creation and costume design, or at least making. Did you have like a dream costume or something that you've done in the past that's like your, I don't know, masterpiece?
I am pretty excited to do Morticia,
Yeah,
because she does, Angelica Houston Morticia from
yeah,
the live action movies,
yeah, yeah.
because
The
she has
best
such an
ones.
iconic look and
Yeah,
air to her, and it is, like, more human makeup than I would
yeah.
normally do.
Hmm.
That and I can
Um,
come at her like some sort of desperate howling demon and frighten her.
do it again.
Do it again.
So good.
Their dialogue is top tier.
It's art.
Those
It's
movies, God, I had the biggest crush on Wednesday as a kid. Um, what's her name?
Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci. Oh my God, I was head over heels as a child. Uh, and then she grew up to be exactly what everyone thought she would be, and still weird, like very.
It's like, how did you guys not see this coming?
Yeah. So I don't know why I
Anyway, so
mentioned that,
sorry
but
to interrupt,
yeah,
Okay.
but you're excited
But
to
yeah,
do Morticia.
if I can actually, serve that look, I'll be happy because again, it's not completely transforming my face into something that no one else like
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
with my void tiefling, that's an original creation. It's still kind of based off of the art from the book, but
yeah.
I can't do it wrong because there's no preconceived notion of what it was going to look like. Now
Right,
with
right.
Morticia, people know what she looks like. So there's a goal I have to hit.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's just gonna be like, "Oh, you tried."
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like
Right.
I'm designing a costume right now for Texas Renaissance Festival, and normally I wear something I made a couple years ago, and it has some armor to it. But I'm making something new, more of like a warlock slash like sorcerer robes kind of thing. So I'm not trying to be something, but I'm trying to design it and make it from scratch, and it's just, God, I'm having the hardest time with it. This is one of the. It's been a while since I've sewn. That's probably why. But
Mm.
good night. I'm so upset with how it looks right now. So I'm really excited to fix it. But I get what you mean. I think it's a lot easier, honestly, when you have a goal because you can just like copy paste.
Right, yeah, sometimes it is harder working without guidelines
Yeah,
because you can literally do anything, and if
yeah,
you do it wrong, it's all your fault.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you do you find that's like super important for cosplay for you personally? Because I know that some cosplayers like precision and keeping it to like this is exactly as the character looks. Is
right.
that super important for you when you're approaching something or working on makeup? Because I already know the answer because I've seen you, you
Oh,
know,
do you now?
well, you've taken reference photos of your own makeup so you can make sure to keep consistent. But in general, is it important to you to have that precision and things of that nature?
It is important to me to a degree. Now, back to the Morticia cosplay. Angelica Houston almost died a couple times because of, like, the way they had her strapped in and corseted. Um, so
We don't
I'm,
want to do that.
I'm not I'm not as obsessed with, like, that kind of precision, especially if it's, like, physically unattainable or, if they're super ripped or super fat or
Right, right.
something that's outside of my body's limitations. What what I like to think about is something that a cosplayer I follow, Night Mage, recently said.
Oh, Night
It's
Mage.
not
Yeah.
so.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I
He's
know him.
great.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
you
so
actually know
much.
him.
Well, a long time ago, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. It's not so much trying to look exactly like the existing character.
No.
It's forming it to yourself
Hmm.
to where the audience thinks that character always looked like you do.
Yeah, exactly. Like a self-insert
It's
type
like,
situation.
yeah.
'Cause he cosplays women fairly regularly too,
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
he doesn't give a shit, and it's he's awesome. Like he's so like I wouldn't even call it body positive. I would just call it cosplay positive. Just like cosplay whatever you
Yeah.
want. It's yours when you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love his approach
Yeah.
because I think it's a very healthy approach because I
Hmm.
feel like
Mhm.
cosplay for a long time, and this is I mean, Summer, you can speak probably more to this than I can. This is just an outside observation that there was a rather unhealthy level of I don't know, like gatekeeping in a way of like if you're not super jacked, you can't cosplay as Superman because you need to have that physical profile sort of, or if you're not super slim or if you're not,
Cosplay community is interesting because that I feel like that example you used would probably be the most justified one, but it's the least one you hear because that one would be directed towards men. Girls,
yeah.
however, women and people of
That's
color
more
get it
accurate.
tremendously worse.
Yeah.
It's if you're a woman and you are not exactly the body type of what you're cosplaying, God forbid the wrong skin color, um, uh, then the internet will let you know.
Mhm.
So it's but most reasonable people and like 99.9% of cosplayers, they just love it's for the love of it. I love this character. I have to cosplay them, and that is as far as it goes. Um,
Mhm.
sorry.
Just as you and I are going to do cosplay of you'll be Robin, I will be Red Hood, and we will take pictures and it'll be cool. That is a thing
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
we're gonna do that. That's gonna happen
No.
That's gonna
one
happen.
day.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're gonna do that.
There's an anime, a newer anime that has recently come out that I've watched called My Dress Up Darling. I don't know if you're familiar. Very
I've
good.
seen it
It's on
on
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Yeah. I saw it
Freaking
on Crunchyroll. I
adorable.
haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's so good. And
I'm
as a
watching
cosplayer,
Shippuden right
you'll
now.
appreciate it
Oh yeah.
because Marion, the main character,
Uh-huh.
is super passionate about a specific character in a video game that she plays, and she tries to make a cosplay because she wants to be her. Just wants to be closer to this character, wants to be her,
Right.
and it looks like absolute dog shit. Like strings are hanging out, the cuts are bad. But she meets this guy who makes those little Japanese dolls with like the really pretty faces and
Hmm.
like the real fabric clothes. I can't remember what they're called. But his grandfather taught him, like it's like his family ancestral art. And so he's really good at sewing.
Hmm.
And they come together and make amazing cosplays, and it's really cute. And it's really
Oh,
cute.
that's really cute. Did you ever watch Princess Jellyfish?
Mm-mm.
No, you might like it. I have no follow up to that question, but you should.
That's the end of
I
that.
have no. I just based on what you told me about that show, and if you like that about that, you would like Princess Jellyfish. It's kind of a slice
Yeah,
of life
she
thing, but yeah.
she really, really reinforces like how it is about how it can be about passion and love for the character.
Yeah.
So it's very, very wholesome.
What's your favorite thing about cosplay? I know it's a really open ended question, and that is kind of the
um,
point of it, but because I have a follow up.
the control of
Nice. Didn't expect that.
your
He's in. He's invested.
the control of your image of like this is what I am. Ta-da.
Nice.
Like because you walk out into the world in like your normal street clothes. People aren't going to know anything about you. Like right now I'm wearing a dress because it's comfortable.
Uh huh.
I'm not a dress wearer,
Uh huh.
but this is just a comfy dress. But if I went out to the store, people would be like, "Oh, and she's a nice girl. She
Yeah.
possibly a kindergarten teacher."
Goes to church every
Like,
Sunday.
She
Clearly.
was not
right.
a nice girl.
She was a
The
nice girl
neighbors all
until she
saw
wasn't.
it. Yeah, until she wasn't.
Not since the fire.
But like nothing
That
about
she
like day-to-day
caused.
clothes.
Anyway, sorry.
Nothing about day-to-day clothes. Really, I mean, and some people are super, fashionistas, and they do make their day-to-day clothes about who they're presenting to the world. I'm not about that action. I don't give a shit
Mm.
what other people, think about me when I go outside. When we walk the dog, I'm wearing my witch hat because it's October in my heart.
Aw.
It's a very nice hat too.
And it's a very nice hat. Just for funsies. So when I dress day to day, I dress for myself. But when I cosplay, I'm doing it as a performer for other people because I'm not cosplaying for myself to just be in my room and be like, hee hee hee. I'm doing it
Interesting.
to be on camera or
I
to
love
take
that.
pictures.
That is so interesting. Have you ever
I'm
been
an
into a
introvert, but
cosplay
I am a
contest?
performer. No, I haven't.
No, just curious.
But
I think you'd love it.
probably in the future because I
Mhm.
am getting more and more comfortable
Mm.
as myself in my own skin as well as other character skins.
Right.
She did get caught in unintentional cosplay one time, and we felt so bad for the guy
I
because he
was
was
I
so
was
nice and he was so
flabbergasted.
excited, and he took her picture. But so few years ago at Heroes Con,
Uh-huh.
um, she was we you know those long like
But
poster
you've already
tubes.
told the story on the podcast. Let me tell it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I didn't remember if I did or not.
Yeah,
Did I? Okay, yeah.
you already did.
Yeah, you go ahead then. I don't know. I
Oh,
didn't
you really
remember.
are a
See?
long-time listener. Thank you.
Yeah. So we go to Heroes Con, and I was in a phase, a hyperfixation, a 30-day trial, if you will,
There it is.
of wearing like
That's the name of
clip-on
the show.
bows in my hair, like
Uh-huh.
these like big bows.
Yeah.
So I'd pull my hair up in a ponytail and I'd clip the bow on it, and it was really cute.
It was very cute.
And I would match them to whatever I was wearing.
Mm.
So I was wearing a purple shirt because I like purple. Purple's great, and it was just plain purple. So I was wearing a plain purple bow. We also have a poster tube that you like walk around cons with that like goes on your back like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
katana,
It looks like a katana. Yeah.
like a
Yeah, yeah.
sword. Yeah, but it's big purple plastic tube. Kind of looks like a quiver if you're not really looking at
Yep.
Yeah. It looks like a quiver. Yeah.
it. So we're looking through some comic books, and I'm just being
You
me.
forgot the other portion.
Which one?
Oh, also during this time, we were both training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And the night before, or sometime, a couple whenever before, we were doing cross collars?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were training cross collar chokes. And my partner, extremely strong woman, and very adamant about training correctly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So she would get it right and get it right and get it right, and I would have like carpet burn from my yi.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I ended up with this just big carpet burn ultimately across my neck because I'm very sensitive and tender. So I just put a big like one of those big fat band-aids over it. So I'm obviously wounded because I have this big honkin' band-aid because I'd rather have a big honkin' band-aid than a big nasty scab
Right.
showing everybody. So we're going through looking at comics, and this guy comes running. This guy dressed like Batman, and it's he's kind of short. He was shorter than me, so this little guy
Babe, is
dressed
that
like
Batman running towards you right now?
And he's yelling somebody's name. And this is before the Hawkeye TV show came out. This is
Oh
before I
my
knew
god.
who Kate Bishop was. I had no idea who Kate Bishop was. And he's running, Kate Bishop, Kate Bishop. And I'm just looking through comic books because if I hear things around me in public, I go, I am deaf and I am focusing on whatever I'm focusing on because I'm not paying attention to anything around me because I don't want to be involved.
How funny. Wait, was this when the Hawkeye show came out or was it before?
No,
this was like
was
4 or 5 years
Oh,
before.
wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so this
this was
guy
like
was
a
just being
good
very
decade
optimistic
ago.
that has to be purple
Yeah,
and a quiver.
so
You're Hawkeye.
this was like the year when Matt Fraction did Hawkeye.
Right.
like this was like that year where he started writing the book, and like Hawkeye and Kate Bishop are both in the book, and like Pizza Dog and all. So like this is like
Yeah.
that
And like
year.
the whole aesthetic of the book is blues and purples and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So it's
So everyone
I
purple is
fit the
Hawkeye.
bill. Looking back, I fit the bill. But
That's so funny.
and my
Wow.
hair is brunette and long.
Yeah, so you fit the bill. That's so funny. I thought it was going to be less. It fit really well. That's so interesting. Like a casual Kate Bishop kind of type situation.
Yeah. And then he comes up right next to me and he's like, Kate Bishop, can I get a picture? And I'm like zoned out, not paying attention.
That's not my
not
name.
a part of this.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Nick's
yeah.
like, this guy's trying to talk to you. I'm like, what? And I turn around and he's shorter than me. So I look over him
What?
and I'm like,
It's a short king. I love it. I'm
love
sorry,
our
the short
short
king
kings.
Batman's trying to talk to you.
I'm sorry, King. Did you need something?
Looks
And
like
he's
the
like,
penguin has
"Hey, Bishop,
stolen the
can I get a
Batman's costume
picture?"
and wants a photo with you.
How you gonna disrespect that short king
I know.
like that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just I respect. I
You-
respect.
You with your height and your privilege
Everyone's
from your height.
penguin to me.
And he's like, Kate Bishop,
You're like
can I
2
get a
inches
picture
taller
with
than
you?
me.
Can I get a picture with you? And I'm like,
Oh, that's funny.
what? He's like, Kate Bishop. And I'm like, no.
I love the image of someone yelling, Kate Bishop, and you turn and look down and it's Batman. I love that. The fact that Batman's from DC and Kate Bishop's from Marvel. I don't know why, but that adds
knows
just another
no
layer.
bounds. I'm just
So I felt really bad because I was just like,
God, I love
what the
conventions.
fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what do you want, you short
What do you want,
fuck?
little man?
Yeah. Just for those that don't know, my wife is an Amazon. She's like, what, you're 5'10"?
No, I'm 5'8".
Okay.
What?
Although, like,
average
6 foot
woman
and-
height in the U.S. is like what, 5'6"? I mean, you're tall for sure,
Yeah,
but
I'm
like you're
tall.
not
I'm the
an
tallest. I'm the
Amazon.
tallest woman in my family. Compared to
oh.
most girls around here, I am.
Yeah. I mean, 5'8" is definitely taller than most women. I mean,
Especially
statistically.
if I wear anything. If I wear anything but flat shoes.
You know, it's
Yeah,
interesting. I know 5'6" is average woman height, but I feel like most women are like 5'3". Like the ones that
Yeah.
I know. Like my wife is
No,
5'2",
most
and
women
that's
I
not
know are
weird.
shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
my sister is 5'4".
Yeah, so I feel like 5'6" is like maybe up north. I don't know, but definitely not down here. But that's funny. Anyway,
I'm flabbergasted that you disrespected a short king like that. After you raised him up and then disrespected him.
who, me?
Yes,
her?
you were like this fucking
I
short.
picked
You're like,
him
oh,
up.
a short king, and then you go, oh, like fuck this dude.
Fuck this
Come on,
guy.
Summer.
No, I realized
Like,
I
how
raised him
dare
too
you.
high. I needed to knock him down. He's wearing
No, take
armor.
him
Yeah, he's fine.
He's obviously confident enough in himself
right.
to do that.
My
So he'll
words,
be fine.
exactly. They can't pierce his Ava foam armor. They can't.
It wasn't you were giving this gentleman way more credit on his cosplay that you assumed
Really?
he had foam. It was like Halloween costume.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like pre-made,
yeah,
like pre-bought.
one of those. Yeah. I remember
it was
one of my first Halloween costumes as a child was Robin. I've always been a huge DC fan, and I loved Robin. I don't know why. Actually, you know what? No, I remember us talking about like I remember having a bunch of like. You ever like in hindsight think, oh yeah, I thought I was straight for a long time, and then I was like, oh yeah, that was a gay thought. Like as a kid, I was like, I really want to be Robin from the Tim Burton Batman movies. I don't know why. I just really like him. It turns out
he's got strong arms.
I like his bat nipples. So
Something about him, just something about that movie. I don't know. It just
And
feels right.
I remember when someone told me those movies were so homoerotic, I was confused. Like, what? I just liked
You're
them
like,
a lot. Yeah, I
think they're great. In retrospect,
it's
answered
funny.
a lot of questions.
That's
I had
a
over
lot
the
of
years.
questions. Yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah, it was Batman and Robin and the Mummy caused a lot of sexual awakenings in a lot
Yes.
of different genders.
yes. Oh my God, the Egyptian guy with the face tattoos. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah.
No
Yeah.
Dead Fair. He's great.
I had the biggest crush on Anoxuna Moon.
Oh God, yeah, she was incredible.
And then I
Really,
got
the
older, and then I
whole
had a crush on
cast.
everybody.
Sumner, did I tell you that Brendan Fraser touched me and he's still
What?
beautiful? Yeah.
What?
So
where did he touch you?
on the
Where
shoulder.
on this doll did he touch
My
you?
shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. But He didn't have to, but he did, and it was
Aw.
so. I was waiting.
I have a
It's when I
similar
was
celebrity touch me story. Continue.
Yes. So it's when I was waiting to meet Kevin Smith at GalaxyCon that we went to, and I'm standing there, and like my back is to an area where people were like walking back and forth, and then
Yeah.
like maybe 10, 12 feet behind me, there's a wall or whatever. I didn't realize that this was like Celebrity Alley.
Yeah.
Where they were like leading them through this area to take them like behind a curtain and navigate to like the food and whatever. And I'm standing there, and I got like my back to like the walkway and everything. And I'm not moving because the line's not moving. So I'm just standing there and I feel this gentle touch on my shoulder. And
Mhm.
I hear the whisper from an angel that says, "Excuse me." And I turn around and it was Brendan Fraser. And he smiled as he walked by.
He
He's
knows what
fucking
he
still
did.
he's still beautiful, god damn it. That
Yeah,
man
he's
is a treasure and I love him. So yeah, I just wanted to share
that's
that.
And
really cute.
he texted me because I was off on the con floor because
Yeah.
they didn't let us wait together. And he was like, Brendan Fraser just touched my arm. And I'm like, you're so blessed. And I am blessed by proxy.
He's still beautiful. Speaking of
Um,
kings, Brendan Fraser.
I met Doug Jones.
Nice.
Doug
Oh,
is
he's
amazing.
so sweet.
Doug is incredibly sweet. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm friends with him. I'm not remotely friends with him. I was in a line. So I was a
That's
director
a
of.
power move that you just did, though.
uh,
Where you called him Doug like you were.
I know,
like you guys were friends.
That's fully
I
intentional.
encourage it.
Well, if
Yeah.
anybody knows anything about Doug Jones, if he was in the room with us, he would be friends with us
Yes,
because
it's
he
true.
That's
is
true.
just made of love.
Doug is love.
Doug is love.
And I think he's bigger than this podcast, but at the same time, he might show up because I was a director of events at an anime convention in Houston for a little bit, and one year he I don't know, it was when what was that movie came out? He was the fish.
Water.
Shape of Water, yeah.
Shape of Water. Shape of Water was
Shape of
coming out, and he
Water.
was doing press for it. And so I think it may have just been convenient for him, but he had a booth. Him and his agent were just there, like selling prints, like signed prints of everything. And I think I bought like a signed print of him. I don't know, I lost it promptly. But the line to talk to him and meet him was like 3 people long. So I'm like, I want to hop in this really quickly and meet fucking Doug Jones and then get back to my job.
Yeah.
And then so I met Doug Jones because like everyone constantly tells me that, like, especially back then when I was cosplaying a lot, I posed and looked like him apparently. So
I see
I particularly the way he poses, and he's also like my height, and he's very like lanky like me.
And a
But
contortionist.
yeah, he can move. He moves pretty similarly in everything he's in, but it's like that kind of creepy, like very and
Ethereal.
Yes.
very
Very Pan's
ethereal,
Labyrinth
yeah.
of you right there.
But anyway, I said, "Hey, Doug, like, I mean, one question, because I watched before that, actually the week before, I think we watched the Bye Bye Man, which at the time the meme being the meme, there's a meme that called that movie the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man,
The pee-pee poo-poo man.
and
I forgot about that.
and I asked him, "Have you heard of the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man?" And he says, "Oh, so you've seen the Bye Bye Man?" And he said, "I'm very sorry that you had to watch that." And I said, "No, I actually enjoyed it. It was fine. The movie was, whatever, but your performance was, as always, top tier." And he said, "Oh, thank you so much for saying that." And then he grabbed my face like this, and he has long fingers. He just I just felt his cold
You're like, I'm
fingers.
gonna die.
No,
Doug's
I was
gonna
just like,
murder me.
I can't believe he's touching me right now. Because I just thought like most celebrities like want to like keep their personal space. Doug Jones doesn't know what personal space is, and it's and I think that's a good thing. I was more like starstruck than anything, and he's like. He said, I constantly get told that I look like you. He says, "Oh my God, I wish I looked like you." And I was just like, "You are being so fucking nice." And I said, "Just thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here." And that was the whole interaction. But
when is Doug gonna be?
And
on
then he
the
hugged me
podcast?
like 4 times. It was credible.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're getting Doug on the show, is what you're telling me.
I think I still have photos of him grabbing my face and holding me from back because Heather knew how excited I was, and she was taking photos while it was happening. So there's like a.
And here is his soul growing 3 times in the heart of Doug
And you
Jones.
can just see, even from behind me, you can see how high my cheeks are from how big I'm smiling. Like it was
that's
so
awesome.
He was anyway. I love Doug Jones.
he's
Doug
the
Jones,
best.
if you're
There's-
listening, I miss you. Anyway,
There's literally a documentary that has been made or is being made
called Doug is Love.
called
Yep.
Doug is Love.
That's
That the
right.
Soska sisters headed, right?
I
The
think they
software
just told
sisters?
us about it because they were
Oh.
like, "Doug is amazing." Yeah,
He has
he
like another
is.
thing out. It's like the man behind the mask or something like that. I think it's on YouTube.
Ooh.
Because
He's great.
for a long time he was an underappreciated actor. No one knew who Doug Jones was until they
Mhm.
found out all the things he was.
Mhm.
But now everyone knows who Doug
Guillermo del
Jones is.
Toro.
Guillermo
Yep,
del Toro puts
Guillermo
that
del
man to
Toro.
work. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
So, we have another question that was
Ooh,
submitted. Sumner,
hit
do you
me.
have a question?
Do I have a
Yeah.
So
Or
Sumner shared the story of how he and Sweetie got together, but does he know about the origin of you and Mick? Especially with that group project, if you want to share. I would say I'm rusty. I believe you've told me before, but it's been a while. I know it's pumpkin related. No, that was the proposal.
that was my
Yes.
engagement. Or
No, then
yeah, that was
maybe I
my
don't know.
proposal. I don't think you do. I don't think I've told you this.
Well,
So we met in high school.
Senior English,
Way,
baby. Ooh.
way back in the year 2006. Um, it was our last semester of our senior year, and we met in English class. And he was really cute, and
Had a leather jacket and long
yeah,
hair and smoked Marlboro Reds.
I sat in
disregard for
front.
authority. It's everything I
I sat
wanted
in
in a
front of
man.
Single to the
him.
lead man.
I sat in front of him in English class, and I was like, "Oh, there's that really cool guy." And we had to. It was like the first day of class, so the teacher passed
Some
around like
fucking nerd.
a piece of paper to write our names down so she could make the seating chart. And I handed him the paper. I was like, "Here you go." And I turned back around, and then I turned back around, and I was like, "What was your name again?" He's like, "Mick." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's what
"Okay,
I got.
thank you." And I turned back around, and I was
Swoon.
like, "Oh my
He's like,
god,
you fucked that up. You fucked it up.
you idiot!"
He looks at the
Ruined
paper.
it.
It's like, do you like me? Circle yes or no.
Yeah. Hands it back, and it says, I did not come to school today to be handed the reins to your emotional state."
Oh my god, I did not answer that. Almost was it almost fabulous comics? What is it called? Anyway,
Yeah, extra
extra fabulous
fabulous.
comics. I love. So I did not come to school to be handed the reins to your emotional stability or something like that.
It kills me.
Uh,
But then, it started from there, and then we had a couple group projects together. There was a one. I can't remember. It didn't involve Alice in Wonderland, but I remember you calling me Alice because of something. I can't remember. Oh, you had like a dream. There's there's a part that I probably shouldn't say on the
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
with
Don't
the doorknob, but
what?
That's
in the dream.
It's not important.
But
It's not
so we
important.
did.
Mix like move on, move on, move on. What are we talking? Is it a
fine.
doorknob, door handle? Was it brass? What are we talking about?
Yeah, the animated Alice in Wonderland, the doorknob that talks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. What about him?
It's not. He's
Important.
he's in the movie.
Was his mouth involved in this dream?
Don't recall?
Oh no!
It's one of those. It's one of those dumb details that I still remember for some reason.
I don't recall that. Anyway,
But anyway, and our English teacher was totally on to the fact that
she knew what she was
we
doing.
needed to be together.
She knew
So
what she
she
was doing.
kept like making groups, and we were always put like together.
Yeah.
Cool teacher.
Oh yeah, she's
We're
great.
still friends with her. We're still friends with her on Facebook.
Really?
She just became a grandmother.
How funny. See, if I was a teacher, I would be intentionally I would be stirring every pot possible. I would be
You
putting
would
Mick
just
with the girl that I
causing
think
chaos.
Courtney is jealous of, and I would put you with her, and then I would put Mick. I would be doing so much mayhem.
Well,
You would be a mess of a
I'd be
funny
like,
story about
fuck them
funniest
kids.
story about that is fuck them kids. Funny story about girls I would be jealous of
Oh, yeah, that's right.
is that when we got to choose our partners for the big book project, this other girl who my ex-girlfriend
She
had
wanted
a
a
big
piece of Mick.
had a big crush on him too.
She wanted a piece of Mick.
But the day that we got to choose our partners for like our groups for like the big project,
Mhm.
she was sick. and she wasn't there. So she didn't get to be in the Dracula group. And when she came back the
But
next
you weren't
day,
there either.
oh, that's
Yeah,
right, we
you
weren't
actually
there.
weren't there, but I made sure that Courtney was in my group to do the Dracula project.
Oh my god, I'm watching Naruto Shippuden right now, and I'm realizing that Mick is this edgy fucking kid. You're Sasuke, Mick, right? And
Is that a good
Heck8
thing?
is Sakura. And
So-
and the ex-girlfriend is Ino, because there's clearly sexual tension between those two characters, and we don't know why. And Sakura and
Do
but
we not know
Sakura
why, or
is-
like we don't know why?
we do, but we don't. They
Okay.
they clearly would work, but anyway, doesn't matter. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to call Mick Sasuke, but continue your story.
Is that a good thing?
I have no idea. I've never
it might
watched
be.
Naruto.
It depends how you look at Sasuke.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're badass.
People
Thank
like
you.
people
Alright,
like Sasuke.
alright.
Yeah.
I know enough of the
Alright.
internet that people
He's
like
funny.
Sasuke.
All right, cool. Moving on.
But yeah, so Nick put me in the group, even though we both weren't there. And then the next day, when we both were there, and Miss Yanity let us know whose group we were in,
Yep.
she was like, "Can I be in the Dracula group too?" And she was like, "No,
No!
sorry, the numbers already evened out." And I
Yeah,
was
go
like,
read 1984. Go read
Yeah,
1984
yeah,
and
go
do a
read
project on that.
1984. You don't get to do Dracula. And then for extra credit, we dressed up as Dracula and Mina Harker and did a photo shoot.
hmm
and
So that was like a big thing that we did.
that's where
was that-
we and that's not where we broke the physical barrier, because we broke the physical barrier when we did that
The Macbeth thing.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
The doorknob thing.
Yeah, the door. Yeah, my friend. We won't go into it here, but off camera, I will tell you a much more salacious tale.
Salacious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not live right now. You can just tell me.
No, it's definitely something that we don't. As weeks with both eyes. But no, so yeah, like to wrap a bow on it, yeah, that is basically how it was. Is we started as friends and did a lot of projects with one another in senior English and became lovers.
Yeah, and then I slowly moved in with you and,
Mhm.
and your family, and
Yeah,
it went from there.
it's
I
work.
slowly escaped the hell grasp of my household.
Yeah,
It
it's
was not a good place
almost
to be.
been 17 years now. It's going on 17. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
17 in May.
17. Good
17
night.
years.
From high school, huh? That's
Mhm.
that's bananas. I know so many high school couples. That's crazy. So what kind of clique would you say Mick was in at the time? Because he seems to me like kind of like a metalhead, like Metallica or Bust kind of guy. What
Yeah,
would you say?
100%.
Yeah. Were you the girlfriend that was like, oh, he's in a band? Swoon.
Oh, I was.
What did you like
kind of-
about him, and what did you not like about him? You
well,
can
I
start
was
with the not
goth.
like. Okay.
I was goth.
You piece of shit.
So.
How dare you bury me on my own show?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so you're a goth. He was the metalhead. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
He
we
was a
kinda-
skater
we
boy.
ran in.
Gotcha.
We ran in adjacent
Yeah,
circles,
bro.
but they never at lunch, like his group would be over here and our group would be behind the pillars.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
too
So we
busy drinking peppermint schnapps over by the wall.
Goldschlager.
Yeah, Goldschlager. Excuse me.
Goldschlager.
In my little mini flask.
Yeah.
That's right. Port my code red. How's that kid?
I had Goldschlager once, and I was like, "This is it." And I remember my friend was like, "It's not the flavor that people get this for." I'm like, "It's the gold flakes, isn't it?"
It is.
Certainly
It's-
is.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it tastes like.
Cinnamon.
Is it
if I'm not
cinnamon?
mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cinnamon basically. It's like
I like Fireball a
definitely-
lot.
I definitely haven't had Goldschlager in a time that I was legally allowed to drink it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no. Most of my liquor
I don't think
consumption was
anybody
before
has,
21.
in fairness.
By the time it
Yeah,
was
our-
legal, I had no interest.
Our Venn diagrams didn't quite overlap, like like
What
they
do you
sort
mean?
of-
our group circles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But then I made a break for it.
Nice.
Ran
I don't think
out-
I've ever
ran out
been
of
with
my
anyone
circle.
who was like. I feel like my high school girlfriend. Not to make things about me, because I'm obviously interested in your story as well. But like, my girlfriend has always come from my own circle of friends. So like,
Mm.
if anything happened with us, it would be like fuck, like,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
like weird, 'cause especially at that age. It's like who's taking whom's side, and it's like
Mhm.
why is everyone involved? Oh yeah,
There's
'cause they're
lines
kids.
in the sand
Well,
drawn.
Yeah,
it's kind of like workplace romances, right?
yeah,
Like,
same deal. Yeah.
yeah, because you're
I've
all
never
like
had that,
coworkers, you're all
but I've
buddies,
witnessed
and
it.
neither have
Yeah,
I, thank God.
That's
yeah.
not true. You and I have worked together multiple times while
But
married.
we didn't meet in the
Oh,
workplace and
that's fair.
start dating. That's not a
That's
Yeah.
fair.
workplace romance. We just happened to be married and working at the same place.
Yeah,
Very true.
I don't think I guess at that point you're also live together, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that I feel like
we've
that supersedes where you work.
We've lived
we've
together
dated
for
and lived
almost
together
17
for
years. Yeah.
yeah, we've
Mhm,
lived together pretty much as long as we've dated.
mm. I guess it would be weird though on that same dynamic if y'all like split while you were working at the same place. That'd be weird for your coworkers.
That would have been weird.
Coworkers make it weird when you don't make it weird.
Holy shit. So we've worked in
That's true.
4 places at the same time. 5 if
Whoa,
you want to
really?
include Game Glitch.
Wait, y'all
Yeah,
worked there
Because
together?
we
Mhm.
worked at Best Buy at the same time,
Yep.
but we were in completely different departments and basically just never saw each other. We worked at
Interesting. Have I ever worked at this
AOS
house? That's
together, the call
crazy.
center, Earth Fair. Maybe it was
Wow.
us
Yeah,
3.
it's just those three. Yeah.
That's cool though.
But yeah,
People make
and
it weird.
most if the bosses are cool with it, there's still gonna be somebody that isn't, and they're gonna be like fucking spying on you
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
and making shit up
Yeah.
and trying to be like, how do they do it? How do they do it? There has to be something
They
weird.
tr-
They must be codependent. Like,
Yeah. It's like, no, we're not fucking freaks. That's how we make it work.
or you get another couple who tries
Oh,
to
yeah.
outdo you.
Oh, funny.
There was they tried to power move and like outdo us. It was weird.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it
I
was very
think that
strange.
they were toxic.
Yeah. No, they
You know,
definitely were.
that reminds me. One time I worked at Joanne Fabrics. It's where I met one of my best friends, my best man at my wedding, Dorian.
Oh.
And he, I remember it was him and I working at Joanne's for a long time. And then we got into the cosplay scene, like way deep into it. And we ended up having a lot of friends in Denton at the time. And we got, we got them a lot of our friends jobs at Joanne because he was like the assistant manager. And I was like,
Oh,
I was his
you were
friend.
killing.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. And we got, I remember we capped out at like, we got the leather, the guy that taught me leather, Vile Victorian, his name is David, Kyle from JK Cosplay, Kyle from Cute Monster Props. He works with Vulpin Props now. And it was and like one or two other cosplayers. So I remember like it was very short lived because the moment there's an anime convention, there was
Everybody's
no
out.
staff. So
Shut it down.
we worked together for about 3 months, and then like Akon was coming up, and everyone's like taking off, and they were like, "Well, if I don't get this off, I'm just not showing up." And they were like, "Cool." So.
Well, what a ride!
we all had like we had a high five moment, and it was like good job. Yeah, Joanne's is fun
Yeah,
to work at, by the way.
I love it when it's like, I'm not requesting PTO. I'm telling
I'm
you, I'm not
telling
going to be here
you.
this day.
Yeah,
Telling
yeah.
you, I'm not
You can
gonna be here
request
this day.
PTO. You don't request a day off that you don't get paid. I'm just telling you. I'm already taking the hit of not being paid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing you a
telling
favor by
I'm not gonna
accepting
be here.
$7 per hour. I call the shot, especially when you realize. That's when you realize, honestly, is how when you're getting underpaid, like getting minimum wage, like
Yes.
Joanne's and stuff, is when you take off and you realize how desperate they are for you to be there. Well,
Mhm.
well, funny thing, that's what we call leverage in a capitalist system. So,
Yeah.
You're like, it seems like you need somebody to work.
damn, if only I had incentive to be here more.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could provide this to me.
Yeah, like that's the way I always put it. You can request PTO, you don't request my sick. Like, hey, I'm not gonna work this day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Man, I do you ever fantasize about going to work like in your salaried like comfortable position now, going to work at like Taco Bell or some shit with like the valor of being
Power.
able to say the power. I mean, I said
Yeah.
valor, but power of being like I can say and do whatever the fuck I want, and not having your
Whatever
life
the fuck I want.
hinge.
It would be. I do
Yeah,
actually think
100%.
about that.
Like
sometimes.
if I ever won the lottery and just never had to like make money again in my life, I would go apply for part-time positions and
Yeah.
like start a union and like rally
Yeah,
all the
do it.
kids.
Honestly, that's a huge responsibility because the people that can't afford that risk, like
Mhm.
they can't, or it's way too
Right.
risky. But like people that don't have
Yeah.
anything to lose, like, or there's no way they can lose what they have by losing this job.
Right.
Unionize, bitch. Like, it's do it. Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
I
100%.
love that thought. I love that
No,
thought.
it's so good.
I'm
So
gonna get a
we're
job at
coming close.
Amazon and just start shit.
Just fucking burn this motherfucker down.
I'm gonna
Like, "You're
burn this
pissing in a
place.
bottle? Oh, fuck no."
Oh fuck no! Give me that bottle. He throws that manager.
Yeet.
Throws
So we're coming to the end of our time, and we've asked you several questions, and something that I
Mhm.
like. I like to do this. I like to end out like this. Are there any questions that you have for us? It's only fair.
No, I didn't know this
Oh,
was gonna
no,
be a
that's fine.
question.
If you don't, that's fine.
What do you all like about doing this kind of stuff? Because I like doing this kind of stuff, and I was excited to be interviewed because yeah, as I've said before, especially about like my own introvertedness and insecurities and stuff. I am becoming a little more comfortable with talking in front of people,
Mm.
being on camera. What do y'all like about this? Is this kind of a therapeutic thing for y'all as well, or just a 30-day fixation? Or
It might be, honestly. That's a great question.
We passed 30 days quite some time ago, my friend.
Yeah, but it's changed every 30 days though, you know.
That's
So,
very true.
like hell, we just said we just dropped D&D, and now we're 3-day pod. I mean, case in point.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
so it gives me time to hang out with Mick. I feel like a lot of times I was role playing with him and not just hanging out, and he's a friend of mine, so
Mhm.
that's important to me. It's a lot less effort than D&D streams.
Mhm.
So like I want to do more sound effects on the stream, but other than that, like it's just kind of like I just rip it and go. Like everything's automated. So it's
I
low
need more
effort.
sound effects. I have a rim shot and I have a curse button. Like, what the?
I love
You
that.
can't be you, God, son of a.
Yeah. Those are always fun. I
Those
got
are the
one.
best.
Is that the Go
What
XLR
about you,
one?
Nick?
Well,
I know I put it on my stream deck from voicemail.
Oh, nice, nice.
it's sort of like Sumner said to tail off of him a bit. It's I get to I feel like a lot of the interactions that Sumner and I have are based around like, hey, can you do this? Hey, check on this. Hey, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this. Like
it's
it's
very
a
work.
lot of like business work related type stuff. I mean, it's all
Mhm.
good stuff,
Yeah,
but it is very like it's always like one of us checking on the other's progress or status of stuff.
Mhm.
So as he said, like taking this time is really cool because we do get to like shoot the breeze and tell stories and
yeah.
laugh and chop it up, which is really good, especially because like we can't really hang out in person,
Mhm.
just due to distance and everything, which sucks because I feel like if we could, we would. I
Yeah, I
don't
was
know
gonna
if
say if y'all were like if physically like coworkers in the same office, y'all would probably go to happy hour together after
Yeah,
work.
very,
yeah,
very,
Like
very
we'd
just
do
true.
every once in
stuff.
a
We
while.
would
You'd be
hang
like,
out.
man, we've been working our
We'd
butts
have a
off.
bro
Let's go
day.
get some goddamn chicken wings.
Yeah, we'd have
Oh,
a bro
sorry,
day.
God, chicken
God.
wings.
My goddamn enchiladas.
I'm
No,
gonna shove
so
those chicken wings up.
take this and stick it straight up my so like that's a big part of it. Like it is cool, especially I think now that I don't remember what episode we did it first. I want to say it was like episode 7 or 8 where we just kind of like went, and that was
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was where we didn't have like a set thing. We just literally like riffed, and I was like the best fucking episode we've ever done. So I think that's really cool. But for
And not
me,
only is it entertaining, it's actually good for your brain
which makes a lot of sense
to
because
be
I
able
always
to
feel great
just
after the show.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, I always feel great after that. But moreover, like honestly, like if if I could do this professionally, I think that would be amazing. Like I would love to be like a professional talker.
Mhm.
That would be awesome because I think I'd be good at it. And
You are good
so
at it.
thank you. Um it's fun, it's enjoyable, and it's even better when I get to mix that enjoyment with like someone whose presence that I enjoy so much in Sumners, and my lovely wife gets to join in too. So that's
My
you
wife.
know
Yeah.
My
my
wife,
wife,
or as Henry Zabrowski says, my wife,
my wife.
my wife.
But yeah, so that's what's going on there.
Right on.
Heck8, do you have anything that you would like to direct our lovely listeners to that you've got going on?
You can find me on Instagram. I do need to post more on my Heck8 account. I do post more like daily on my personal account, but I do need to post more on my Heck8 account. Not that there's much of a difference between the two, but I like having that barrier, I guess, between
Yeah.
like personal. That's like I told my coworker the other day. It's like I have a work Sona
Mhm.
that I keep on.
Yeah.
So don't act like you know me and back the fuck up. No,
Yeah.
He was being super fucking annoying.
he's problematic, but that's okay. I only have to deal with him from 9 to 5. And I've shut him down a couple times. Like, hey,
Nice.
We're
you
And
need to stop
n-
that.
the next step is violence, and I think that's reasonable.
yes.
Well, he's in Arizona, so
I mean,
I could make that trek to punch somebody if I really
That's
wanted to.
that's a really worthy punch.
yeah. Or I
It'd be
mean,
so
you
satisfying.
can pay people to do it for you.
This is true.
Yeah.
Especially in Arizona. There's gotta be
Chaotic.
hitmen in Arizona.
The 30-day trial podcast, nor Chaotic, vouches for violence, but like if you have to do what you have to do, then you just have to do it, you know?
I
So-
love the disclaimer that you slid in there.
Yeah.
That's a good call. It's a good call, buddy.
Shit, what was the question? Oh,
Anything
sorry.
Sorry.
you got going
What was
on?
the question?
Oh,
Anything? Oh, plugging stuff. Yeah, follow me on Instagram.
There
is
it
it also
is.
Heck8Kitagawa?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
All spelled the same all the time because when you know it, nobody else has this name.
Yeah.
So I have it across all platforms. I'm not super active on Twitter.
That's
But,
probably for the
I
best.
can be.
Twitter's a
My
cesspool.
Twitch channel, also the same. Heck8Kitagawa. You can find me in the Playodic Discord.
Hey, which you can find at
because I'm,
discord.gg/Playodic Games.
Yeah,
Way to go,
I am an
buddy.
average Playodic enjoyer and also a part of the troupe currently.
Hell
on
yeah.
Tuesday nights.
It's true. Because you are on the Lasers and Liches, which
Yeah.
is a hell of a lot of fun. We're wrapping that one up. That one's final episode is coming up very soon.
Yeah, stay
so
tuned for the thrilling conclusion.
Yeah,
It's going to be
speaking of
very
which,
exciting.
the game I'm DMing will have a finale on this upcoming Monday. So that's October 3rd. Goodness, already into October,
Yeah,
huh?
Damn.
and
Um,
October 4th, we will have Lasers and Liches finale as well.
Hell yeah. So it's going to be a
Damn.
week of finales.
Week of finales, which
So I
is
will put on my
pretty
full
good.
cosplay.
Yeah,
I
a
will
week
put
of
on my full
finales,
cosplay.
which is awesome. But thank you so much, Heck8, for joining us and chopping it up with us. Thanks
Yeah.
for the trial run. We appreciate it. Next week, Sumner and I will be back. We will have a different guest. And Sumner, would you like me to tell you about that guest? I told you before we started.
You said the name, but I'm not familiar.
Yes, we're going to have author and producer
Producer.
Rhonda Parker. She's also known and goes by Words by Parker on YouTube, and she is, as I said, she is a writer. She's done several novels, but one of the things that she has done that is very cool is she paid me to do voice work. So yeah, big fan. Yes.
They like Rhonda.
Yeah, we like her. She's actually fantastic. She's a great director, and we'll be promoting her new novelette In Game, of which there is an audio version of which I play 2 characters in. So she's gonna be joining us next week, and we're gonna be talking about writing. We're gonna be talking about producing an entire novelette or an audio novelette remotely with people from all around the world. So yeah, it's gonna be a really fun conversation.
Well, I'm super stoked to meet her.
Yeah, because
Well-
you're gonna ask all those questions. 'cause I
Yeah,
don't
I'm about to
know.
say it's all gonna come from me for sure. But thanks to everyone for listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you very much. If you want to watch the show live, we're on YouTube on Wednesdays. Today we're streaming a little early, but just keep an eye on our Discord announcements for our Wednesday streams. But for those who are watching, or missing anything, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And thank you so much to everyone. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, or leave us a review on our podcast. Really helps us a ton.
Smash that like button. Hit that
Smash it,
bell.
baby.
Smash it.
And we will see y'all next time.